Outsiders often see communities like Smith Hill as places where nothing of note has happened, as places without stories. The writer and tribal storyteller N. Scott Momaday taught that the worst thing that can befall us is to forget who and what and that we are. This forgetting happens as we lose our shared stories, our histories. Stories that have been kept in memory for decades or centuries can disappear forever if they are not passed to the rising generation. And without stories that explain why things are the way they are, it is incredibly difficult to have a sense of community or a sense of the way forward. Walking through Smith Hill, pausing at buildings or memorials, or spots where meaningful events took place, is one way of sharing a community's history, knitting together discrete stories like beads on a necklace. The stories shared in this digital walk don't tell the whole history nor the only or truest history, but the stories are factually and emotionally true and frame a usable history. They help us to recognize the neighborhood as a community of place and meaning, and they remind us to experience it as a place of invitation, relationship, and possibility. Smith Hill and places like it have histories. Smith Hill can teach us a lot about urban history, but its bigger lessons have to do with the valuing and devaluing of community, the light and shadows of human experience, creative adaptation, and the common good. Two big themes emerge from the stories. First, Smith Hill has been and remains a neighborhood defined by immigration, more specifically by the arrival of people seeking refuge, people fleeing famine and violence. Most often, the United States has had a role in creating the conditions that people are fleeing. This pattern persists through to today. Smith Hill remains a place for people who want, most simply, to be at home in the universe. And the stories reveal something important about the existential dilemma of our time. What happens as people far away make decisions that directly impact the lives of people in neighborhoods like Smith Hill, with no awareness or care that they are doing so. As you reflect on the stories and these themes, I hope you will think about the value of community and what we mean by neighbor, by compassion, by justice.